Today we're diving into a contentious and important discussion, the difference between Nazism and fascism. These two ideologies are often grouped together, but do they really share the same core? And what makes Nazism distinct? Let's break it down. First, let's talk about what we commonly know as fascism. This is a political ideology rooted in authoritarianism, nationalism, and militarism. Fascist leaders centralize power, suppress political opposition, and promote national unity. It's all about the strength of the state over individual freedoms, with the promise of security, stability, and order. Think of Benito Mussolini's Italy, the archetype of European fascism. Mussolini's fascist regime wasn't inherently focused on race or ethnicity. His goal was to create a unified, strong Italy through total state control, no dissent, no disruption, just efficiency. But then we come to Nazism, an ideology that's often called National Socialism, which arose in Germany under Adolf Hitler. At first glance, it looks like fascism, authoritarian, nationalistic, militaristic. But the central theme of Nazism is racial purity. Unlike Mussolini's Italy, the Nazis were obsessed with the idea of a superior Aryan race. This racial ideology wasn't just rhetoric. It drove the genocide of Jews, Romani people, disabled individuals, and others during the Holocaust. Now, it's important to note that while both Mussolini's Italy and Hitler's Germany promoted militarism, expansionism, and authoritarian rule, Nazism took it to an extreme. The Nazis weren't just seeking national unity, they were seeking racial dominance. Their territorial ambitions, like the conquest of Eastern Europe, were driven by the idea of creating Lebensraum, living space, for the Aryan race, and they saw other populations as expendable. Whereas Mussolini's fascism initially didn't make race its central pillar, Nazism did. Hitler believed in racial hierarchies, with the Aryan race at the top and everyone else beneath. This distinction is crucial because it leads us to the most horrifying aspect of Nazism, the Holocaust, a systematic attempt to eradicate entire ethnic groups. Now, let's talk economics. Fascism often involved corporatism, a model where the state mediates between workers and employers to reduce class conflict. Mussolini's Italy embraced this model. The goal was national unity, not racial purity. On the other hand, Nazism's economic model focused on autarky, or economic self-sufficiency, preparing for war and rearmament. While both ideologies maintained tight state control, Nazism's focus was different. It was geared toward military conquest, rather than state-sponsored mediation between capital and labor. So why do some argue that Nazism isn't fully fascism? Well, the radical racialism of Nazism sets it apart from the more general fascism seen in Italy. The Nazis weren't just concerned with national unity and authoritarianism, they were deeply committed to their vision of an ethnically pure state. To wrap up, while Nazism and fascism share some similarities, particularly in their authoritarian, nationalistic, and militaristic elements, there are key differences, especially in how race and racial purity play a central role in Nazism. Fascism, in its broader sense, doesn't inherently focus on race or promote genocide in the same way that Nazism does. Though some people draw parallels between Nazism and fascism, it's important to recognize that they are distinct ideologies. Nazism is not simply a form of fascism, rather it is a more extreme, racially driven ideology with a focus on ethnic purity and a history of genocidal policies that are not central to fascism as a whole. Thanks for joining me in exploring these complex ideas. I hope this helps clarify the differences and similarities between the two. Until next time.